Oh, it actually let
We
us go
are.
live on YouTube. I can't friggin' believe it. So there we go.
Yay.
We are live. Now, there will be people watching this playback and they will be looking for the list. Shut up, get to the list, whatever. We will be providing a full rundown of the list and we will timestamp it. So if you want to just skip our thoughts and jump right into that, then you go right ahead. So now, something I try to always preface these with is that, you know, if you're just somebody who is coming to have their viewpoints and their opinions matched up with, you know, go find that person, right? Like, I guess that's what you need. If you want to actually hear our opinions and our thoughts on the films, then, you know, stay and hang out and
with
have a good
us.
time because we all have differences of opinions.
Yes.
I can't believe we have to say this, but I've been watching a lot of year-end top lists from friends of mine like Lee from Drum Dums and you know, other people. And I only have one friend, and I tried to make it seem like I had more. No, there were more people.
Other people.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like naming names. But I hate how much nowadays that people really have to like play defense the whole time they're doing stuff like this. And they have to sit back and they always have to be like, I'm not saying it's the greatest movie ever made, and maybe it didn't live up to this and that. And they play so much defense the whole time because they know how toxic the comments are. I don't really care. Come at us. You know, we're going to have opinions that don't line up with yours. There are going to be movies on here that you think are awful, that you genuinely are going to question if you think our opinion is even valid. Like, there's going to be those titles on here. That's okay.
Yeah, it's just what we liked.
Yes, that's what we liked. And hey, there's a video for every single film we are about to talk about and our full thoughts on them. A lot of them spoilers, videos as well. So you can get literally all our thoughts on them that we had to say at that time. So we can give full explanations for why we did or did not like something. So I just have no fucking interest in trying to pad everything like, okay, and now this movie, and I know a lot of you guys don't like it, and I know I'm going to get I don't give a shit. Attack away. So anyways,
away.
You know, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm wearing a Last of Us Part 2 shirt. If that doesn't give you any indication that there are toxic fans out there that hate on shit and very much like despise your existence for your opinion, and that's okay. I've had a lot of very off takes to a lot of people, and that's fine to me. So now another little caveat before we start. So I went through my lists as always. I keep a letterboxed throughout the year to make sure I know every single title that we watched. And I sat back, and as usual, I felt very pressured and I felt very disingenuous the entire time, because the truth of the matter is that numerical kind of stacking and you know,
the ordering of them.
of a list is kind of arbitrary, honestly. It's really more of like what films you loved, what films you felt the most excited about. The order, it always just feels kind of fluid in the end. Like those last 5 movies or so, they can kind of go anywhere. And people like try so hard to find these different tier levels and like, oh, well, I guess I kind of like, it just has always kind of felt pointless to me because it changes too so much.
Yes.
And it's like, there's films that are like impossible to compare. They're so different. And it's like, which one did you like more? And it's like,
they're just,
I like them
like,
for different reasons. And comparing the two is kind of asinine to me. So I think I do kind of have a number one, so to speak, but overall, I do not have a plan of doing any kind of numbering system here. My plan, now I originally went through the letterboxed. I have not added 100% of the films because we watched a few more that I have not added yet. So I think there's like 2 or 3 missing currently that we just watched. Maybe only 1 or 2. But currently the list sits at, we watched 113 films, probably around 115 horror films that came out in 2022. And I think I counted that I have like 52 and maybe 53 now that we watched this other one tonight. Films I would rate 4 stars or higher. That's how good this year has been. So this year has been a banner year for horror. It really has been something special. There has been, and we kind of expected this coming out of COVID, right? There was this onslaught of properties that needed to drop post-pandemic that couldn't really do so in 2020. They were either pushed in production or pushed in release, and a lot of them came out in 2022. So we just got this absolute avalanche of content, and so much of it was good. But it really was a great year.
Yeah, I'm so happy we're not doing the numerical like rankings because I hate doing that with film.
I genuinely hate it too.
Like, and even going through this list, because I'm not as good as keeping track. Like, I don't rank them or rate them right after we watch like you do. But going through, I was really struggling because I would give a movie like 3.5 stars and then instantly doubt myself and be like, oh wait, maybe I should have given it a higher score, like a 4, or I don't know. So
yeah,
I struggle with these.
So originally my plan was to read off the 52 films that had 4 stars or higher. But I know how long that will take. I might list some of the other 4 stars like rapid fire. But once we get into the 21 films that I have rated 4.5 stars or higher, then I want to, maybe take a minute and say something about them really quick. But if you do want our full thoughts on any movie we discuss, we did review them in full depth. So let's jump into it because that's what everyone's here for, and that's what we're here for.
Hi, everyone.
And it's going to, as always, take forever. Before we start, let's check out some comments here. What's up, Matt Fauci?
Hi.
What's going on? Toxic Avenger. Yep. Definitely am looking forward to that whenever the hell we get it.
Cocaine Bear.
We're
yes.
very excited for that. Drops in February, if memory
Which
serves.
Is so soon.
Pretty soon. We got Megan next week.
I'm so excited for Megan. I have like really high hopes, and I saw way more of the trailer than I meant to watch when we were in theaters, so I hope I don't spoil too much of it. Like I hope all the good parts aren't in the trailer, but yeah, I'm excited.
I'm famous for covering my ears and closing my eyes and humming in the theater because man, trailers are brutal. Some trailers are so revealing.
It felt like the one that we saw in theaters for Megan was like 3 minutes long. Like it felt really long.
My personal favorites got to go to Masking Threshold and Incantation. We did not see Masking Threshold, nor did we see Feed Me, which was another movie that we did not get to this year, which I kind of wish we had, just because I would have liked to have seen it since the person who did that did a movie called Hosts a few years back, which while I didn't love it, it had probably the most fucked up scene of that year. And this movie's supposed to focus really heavily on the violence. And you know how much I love that. So
the violence.
Masking Threshold.
I have not heard of it.
Or is it Making? Yeah, I know it says Masking. I have heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. So let's jump in. So as I said, there's a lot of films that were rated 4 and up. I mean, I can seriously go through so many here. It's kind of insane how many films fell into that territory. I do want to start by doing a couple quick little awards. So first, and I think the most important of this year, because we got some insanely stellar ones, is best performances of the year in horror, and holy shit, was this a juggernaut of a year for performances.
It really was.
The obvious standout here that everyone is talking about, of course, is the lead actress in Jeepers Creepers Reborn.
Oh my god, I was so close to throwing this tea in your face.
Stellar performance.
When I heard those words.
Everybody in the movie, just top tier stuff. No, obviously I'm referring to Mia Goth in Pearl.
Yes.
And X. I mean, let's be real here. Mia Goth gave two technically iconic performances. There's old Pearl, young Pearl, and young Maxine.
Yeah.
Pearl, of course, young Pearl is my favorite of those three performances. She gives a monologue and then an ending credit smile sequence that is the best.
It's incredible
that I've seen all year from anybody. And I definitely need to, I can't stress enough how much Mia Goth has just killed it this year. She
is the perfect amount of unhinged, which is incredibly unhinged. She was wonderful.
Yeah.
But there was, like you said, so many good ones.
Next up would be Rebecca Hall in Resurrection. She would be either equal or just below. I can't give, the edge goes to Mia Goth, especially since she was in X as well, doing two different performances this year in the same franchise and knocked all three out of the park. Rebecca Hall just couldn't, live up to that.
Well, and her performance, so Rebecca Hall's like monologue, I mean, her performance was great in the film, but the monologue is like the concentrated version of it. Whereas I feel like with Mia Goth and both Pearl and X, it was like consistent throughout. Like I felt that level of intensity the entire time.
Sure. So she definitely gets it. And Ortega as well.
Yeah.
Jenna Ortega had a fantastic year, and I still haven't even seen one of the movies that she made that a lot of people are raving about, especially her performance in it, which isn't even horror. So that's why we didn't get to it. January is typically my non-horror month where I really catch up. We've been doing a little bit of that.
A tiny bit.
We've been doing a little bit of that, catching up on a few titles that I was really looking forward to. And I've really loved some of what we've watched. I think Kaylee has kind of gritted her teeth through some of it, but that's okay. But we both did love Avatar very much.
Yes. So, the new Avatar is wonderful.
What a wonderful experience that was.
Just real aliens.
But yeah, I mean, Jenna Ortega is just incredible. The year she had is remarkable as well, just with the amount of titles that she was in. Yeah. Then you've got Aisha D in Sissy. I thought she was phenomenal in that. And I definitely could not recommend that higher. I think that's such a cool film.
It was really, really unexpected for us too. I wish we had more movies like that you kind of just stumble across and end up loving so much. And then also Kate Machushi, I don't know how the hell to say her last name. The girl from Garfunkel and Oates. She was in an episode of the Cabinet of Curiosities called The Outside. I thought her performance was phenomenal as well. There's just so many standout performances. So I really wanted to shine a quick light on that. And we can move on from there. Now, as far as like worst films of the year, and I think, I mean, worst films of the year, obviously stuff like Jeepers Creepers Reborn and Margot, that Killer House movie and stuff like that I really, really hated. But there were some films that definitely let me down quite a bit. They weren't bad movies. And I'm hoping on second viewing that we are going to get something more out of them than we did. But the biggest one that springs to mind, easily by far and away, is Hellraiser. Hellraiser to me was a gigantic disappointment for me because I just expected so much more out of Bruckner than I got. And I just felt like the characters were so flat. The main girl was fine. Everyone else I could give a shit about. And I just wanted so much more out of that film.
And I'm hoping on second viewing I change my mind and I'm like, what was I thinking? I'm on drugs, and I'll welcome that with open arms. But man, I haven't rewatched it, but man, what a disappointment. I really thought that one was going to be, and a home run.
I definitely wasn't as disappointed with it as you were. Yeah. I quite enjoyed it. I mean, it's definitely not in my like absolute favorites of the year, but it wasn't an ultra disappointment for me. I was more disappointed with my best friend's Exorcism because I had such high hopes for it, and I love the book. So, but I was, oh my God, that movie, majorly disappointing.
That was a huge disappointment. I agree. Absolutely. I didn't even like that movie. Right, like with Hellraiser, I at least liked the movie. With my best friend's Exorcism, I read the book right before we watched the movie, and I was ginormously disappointed. I mean, just terrible. And another film that I was disappointed with was Barbarian. I know that we've talked about this, but I was not crazy about it.
Yeah,
and I thought it was good. It was Hellraiser for me. It's another movie that I hope on a second viewing I'll be much more into, but I wasn't crazy about it. You can watch my review on it. I don't need to get into my thoughts on it. But Dash Cam was another one that was like being really hyped and excited. We're All Going to the World's Fair.
I know.
Was like one of the most hyped films of the year. Skinamarkin or whatever. Holy shit. We couldn't even shut that off. We were so bored.
But the World's Fair, Let's All Go to the World's Fair, that one I was very excited about because it was like found footage and like creepypasta, cyber legend kind of thing. I was really into that aspect, but it was, I don't know, people love it. I definitely did not have that reaction to it. Yeah. And Skinamarkin, how does it?
What is it? No fucking clue how to pronounce the title.
We literally couldn't finish. It was beyond boring.
Yeah.
But people are obsessed with it. So I don't know. We need to probably give it another shot at some point.
My absolute least favorite film of the year, for sure, though.
Speak No Evil. I was just gonna say it.
There's no contest for me. I absolutely, it was like fucking pulling teeth. I hated the film so much, but maybe that was its intention. Maybe it was trying to elicit some kind of visceral response from me, and it's what it got.
It is what it got.
It's an unbearable fucking film. So, and people love it. It is. I've seen it on so many top 10 lists, and that's fine. No problem. If you love it, you'll love it. Awesome. But for me, whoa.
No.
It is. It is absolutely unbearable. As someone said, speak no back. That's 100%.
Very just applicable.
A dreadful experience, honestly. But A Mad God was another one that I really wanted to like. She loved it.
Yeah,
I wasn't into it at all.
Mad God was.
Let's see. Is there anything else?
Incredible.
Let's see.
I feel like our camera glitching? Because I keep noticing.
So do you guys see the glitching?
I can't tell if it's like on the stream or if it's just our computer screen.
I don't know. It does it on ours all the time. So you guys are seeing the glitch. There it is.
It's like really bad right now.
I don't know so it doesn't do that when we do.
It's creepy. This is going to turn into found footage. Bum, bum, bum.
This only happens on YouTube, guys. When we use StreamYard, this does not happen.
Ooh, it's so bad.
It's bad. We have to change. We have to sign it off, which was just really frustrating because then we have to restart the video, so to speak. So we shall return.
Fix
this is super annoying.